The year of 2020 will be remembered by many for being clouded by the pandemic. Who would have thought wearing a face covering would become the new norm? A lot of us have become accustomed to working from home while trying to homeschool our children and adhere to the strict restrictions. In this video, I'm going to share how I survived coronavirus, my timeline and symptoms. This is my COVID story. We know COVID-19 to be a disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus, which was reported back in 2019. I didn't think I would ever contract this virus, but I tested positive for COVID, and this may have been due to a lack of forethought. Nevertheless, it does illustrate how easy it can be to catch coronavirus if you do not follow all the restrictions carefully. It is not something I would wish on anyone. Let me begin with my timeline. My plan was to spend quality time with my family over the Christmas period, having taken some leave from work. My first symptoms were feverish chills. This was on the 26th of December of 2020. My test results came back positive on the 28th of December, 2 days after being tested, which suggested that I would have had the virus the day before my symptoms started, which would have been on Christmas Day. I had an immense headache and uncontrollable feverish chills, which continued for days and progressed to a persistent cough, aches and pains. I was thinking to myself, I will not see the next day. I felt this was it for me. I initially called 111 and was advised to take off-the-counter cough medicine. This did not work, and my breathing gradually got worse, alongside a severe loss of energy. My first visit to hospital was on New Year's Day due to low oxygen saturation and elevated heart rate. I returned home the next day, convinced that I could shake this off. However, the day after being discharged, I realized my symptoms hadn't improved, but actually worsened. This time round, I was readmitted to hospital on the 3rd of January and ended up staying for 5 nights. During my first few days, I couldn't control my breathing. I was constantly feeling shortness of breath. I needed an oxygen mask and only took the mask off to go to the bathroom, which made me feel lightheaded. The doctors had to give me a higher dose of oxygen to prevent it getting dangerously low. In hospital, there were times I felt very alone, staring into nothing, looking out through the sunlit window as I lay in the draft-filled ward. I would call my Creator for spiritual sustenance. Sitting in bed, I kept reciting verses from the Holy Quran and made supplication to feel a sense of calm and peace. Each day I would keep trying to get my breathing in order. I kept fighting and fighting, trying to defeat this virus, and all the while thinking of the life that I have yet to live with my wife and 2 children. I refused to be overcome by this. The NHS staff were at my aid, working incredibly hard, flat out, day and night, throughout the clock, to help me with my breathing and encourage me to persevere. The NHS staff were selfless, taking huge risks with their own health and well-being. Thank you to those staff for restoring my inner vitality. We link heavy rain to sorrow and sadness. It is during our trying times the dearest of those make every effort to offer solace by way of their kind words and best wishes and voluntary acts of goodwill gestures. I was touched by those family members and friends who went the extra mile to make me and my household feel cared for and well provisioned. What I have learned from this hardship is that love and affection comes from those that have a genuine heart to take the time out of their busy lives to make that call or to message when I needed it most. You truly cared to have a positive impact in my life, and I am immensely grateful and indebted to you for getting me through this, mashallah. We cannot spin and go back in time to change what happened in the past. Since returning from hospital on the 7th of January, the memories of my COVID experience are still very raw. I needed a further 2 weeks to rest at home, but needed more time to recover from my fatigue and shortness of breath. Sometimes I sit by myself and wonder how fortunate and blessed I am to be given a chance to live my life again with my loved ones. My beautiful and dutiful wife, Masuma, gave me the energy and strength to find a reason to strive against all odds. It is to whom I am eternally grateful. If it were not for her solid dedication, I would not have made a speedy recovery. Now, more than ever, I appreciate the wonderful natural world around us, the awe-inspiring wildlife and landscapes. So do not take the gift of life for granted. Before contracting COVID, I had an active life and was health conscious, taking time out to exercise, but this virus really got me down. Little did I know how easy it was to catch this virus until I caught it myself. This is indeed a wake-up call to all those that never had COVID and skeptics out there. Let us remind ourselves as we put our lives on hold by staying at home, covering our faces, keeping our distance, and regularly washing our hands, we help stop the spread of coronavirus. Thank you for watching my COVID story.